Hello, world. We're back again. Happy Tuesday means one thing it's the least most talked about podcast ever. Tonight, we're going to take you on a little journey. We raise a toast to the one and only Toby Keith, and we're talking about The Rock again. Let's go.
Yo, monkeys, it's me. It's DDP. That's right, Diamond Dallas Page, the king of bada bing, the master of the diamond cutter, the three-time world champion, WWE Hall of Famer, and founder and CEO of DDP Yoga. And baby, it is time. It is time for the Towers of Powers, the men of the hour. I'm talking about my main men, the men with the plan. I'm talking about Whiskey Pro and the Brews, baby. And we're bringing you the best in beerskis and whiskeys from the greatest city in the world, Dallas, Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, can you dig that, baby? These guys are going to make you boys feel the bang. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
I am so proud of that video
I get so teared up every time I see DDP, man. It gets me right here, man.
Oh, man. I really am proud of that video. You did an awesome job, man. Thank you. Cheers.
What?
So, start off a little somber. And I'm only doing this because this is how I was woken up this morning. I literally had that sleep still in my eye. I was coming to awake, and Sam looks at me so ever lovingly in the eyes in the morning and goes, Toby Keith died.
Wow.
Literally how I woke up this morning.
So direct.
Like, okay. So,
I could have sworn that I saw something about that the other day, though. It's not too recent, is it?
Yeah, it just happened. Well, I mean, they just announced it today. But
no, I saw something yesterday.
Okay, maybe it was yesterday, but I found out about this morning, and the only reason I bring this up is I know we're a wrestling podcast, beer podcast, but this is our podcast. We talk about what we want to. Before the ever so great Roger Krager, there was Toby Keith, and he was an idol of mine. And I have a funny side story. I was in Rockwall, Texas, and I don't know how old I was, 13, 14, 15, 16. I was somewhere in there. I was at a gas station, and I remember I was walking inside, and this guy was coming out. And at first glance, I didn't recognize who he was. It took me a minute. And then I went, oh, that's Toby Keith. And I went, hi, Toby. And just very nonchalant, just went about my day. And he looked at me and smiled and was like, hey, Tex. And just got his truck and drove off. And I just thought that was so cool. Just, as a kid, I was trying to be cool and play it off. Here was one of my quote unquote music idols at the time. And I just, hi, Toby. And how you doing, Tex? And I thought it was kind of cool. So fun little story. But man, RIP, a lot of good music, and he's going to be missed by a lot of people. Did a lot of stuff for the military, all that kind of stuff. But
I didn't realize he had stomach cancer.
Yeah, dude, it was bad. It was funny. Well, not funny, but me and Sam were talking about it here. I don't know, 3, 4, 5 months ago. I actually, when he announced he was going to start making tours again, I was like, we got to go see him. I want to go see him. And then he did I think it was the Grand Ole Opry. I could be wrong on that. But he did his live televised event, and it was "Don't Let the Old Man In." And it was basically a song about, stay young as long as you can, and don't let life pass you by. And I thought it was a really kind of somber song, but it was just kind of a slap in the face to, dude, this is real, and then here we are a few months later and he's passed. So sucks, but hey, cheers to him.
Cheers.
And I wanted to do the right thing and pay the right tribute. So I'm going to make you, I'm going to let you choose Witherspoon or green apple?
Ooh, green apple.
Okay, well,
but you gotta smell it.
Gotta smell it. Hashtag smell it. Don't forget. Oh gosh, yeah. I hate this lid so much.
At some point this weekend, I'm gonna go see if they have that maple syrup flavor.
I got the red Solo cup right here. Little drinky drink, little shotty shot. I felt it was only necessary to have a red Solo cup. So, Toby Keith, cheers to you, pal. Ooh, yeah. All right. Yeah. I told you before the show started, I wanted to take you on a journey.
Yes.
We have a lot.
My bags packed. Take me on this vacation.
So we have a lot to talk about. And this, by the way, this is going to be a short show because I'm just going to be honest. I've fallen into the never-ending world of Pal World, P-A-L World, Pal World. It's basically Pokemon with guns. A little bit of survival sprinkled in there. I love this game. I'm addicted to this game, and I'm buying the full version this weekend. I have Game Pass, but it says that I need to buy it, so I don't understand what's going on.
You probably... I don't know then.
Yeah, I don't know. But regardless, I really love it. And I told Bruce, is like, this might be a short stream because I really want to play this game. But look, there was a lot that happened Friday night, SmackDown, a lot that happened last night. I will be honest. Last night's SmackDown was good, but I felt like it was overshadowed last night's Monday Night Raw was good, but I felt like it was overshadowed from Friday night SmackDown.
Yeah.
And so we'll take you back to SmackDown. Cody Rhodes comes out, or Roman Reigns responds to Seth Rollins about it being the working man's title. And then Roman Reigns says, well, this is the title. This is the one that Bruno Sammartino held. This is the one that Hulk Hogan held. This is the one that Billy Graham held. You want to make Roman Reigns money, but yet you're not on my level, basically is what he said. I'm paraphrasing here, but Cody Rhodes comes out and kind of, faces off with Roman. And there was one thing I want to back up for just a second. I caught this. I don't know if anybody else did. Did you see the face off between him and Roman?
Yeah.
No, you did. You're the one that was texting me about it. So Cody asked if Roman would get everybody to leave the ring, and he said yes. And then Paul Heyman stayed. I thought that kind of ruined it for me a little bit in the moment. But nevertheless, Cody says, Roman, I've talked to some WWE legends. I've talked to some people close to me, and I even sought out counsel. And he goes, I have somebody who wants to talk to you about head of the table, something like that. Again, I'm paraphrasing. And out comes The Rock. Why is this such a big deal? Because we already had Cody versus Roman at WrestleMania. You had Cody win 2 Royal Rumbles back to back. He lost at WrestleMania 39. He wins this year's Royal Rumble. Supposedly, allegedly, CM Punk was supposed to win that, but got hurt during the Rumble, so they had to make a change on the fly. That's at least the reports that I'm reading from I think Sports Wrestler and like Yahoo Sports. Again, don't know how much truth there is behind that. And then we want Cody started trending worldwide. I want to say something to you here, Bruce. Do you know how many dislikes the video of The Rock returning to SmackDown got?
How many dislikes?
As of yesterday. Do you know how?
No clue.
It got over 600,000 over the weekend. To put that into perspective, that's 6 Cowboy stadiums, 6 Jerry Worlds.
Wow.
And it's still climbing. Dislikes, not likes, not views, dislikes. And we want Cody is still trending on Twitter and still trending on Facebook and still trending on Instagram and still trending on TikTok and whatever other platforms there are, because I'm too old to keep up with them all. it's just it. We talked about it. We had our first Raw reactions on Friday night after Friday Night SmackDown went off the air. Again, here's where I'm a little confused. Cody wins the Royal Rumble, points at Roman, and then comes out Friday night and says, I'm giving you to The Rock. Now, you don't like it. I don't like it. 600,000 other fans and counting don't like it. Do you have anything you want to say? Because I'm about to take you on a trip, my friend.
I think it's a cheap smokescreen. But after having the weekend to kind of mull it over and then watch last night's show, I'm kind of okay with it, and I'll tell you why after your little journey.
Okay. So before we start, I'm going to ask you this. Bruce, what podcast do I listen to the most?
The one with Bubba Ray.
Busted Open Podcast.
Busted Open.
The number one podcast in the world.
Which I finally saw a second episode of.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
So for any haters, anybody that's going to come after me, because I know how wrestling fans are and I know how trolls are, that I completely stole this from Bully Ray off of Busted Open Podcast, you damn Skippy, I did. And it was off yesterday's episode on Monday.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to come up and say I'm stealing material, you damn Skippy, I am. So when Cody Rhodes started this journey, when he started the first chapter of this journey back to WWE, do you know where he did it at?
No.
Madison Square Garden. Don't get ahead of me, folks, because we got a long way to go. The championship that his father won off of Superstar Billy Graham, I don't know the year. I don't know what pay-per-view it was. I don't know if it was a Friday night, Saturday night. But he won the championship and then lost it the next day due to a disqualification, was in Madison Square Garden against Superstar Billy Graham. When Cody started his journey, it was in Madison Square Garden.
Was it the next day or did he lose it? I thought he had to get the title back that night because
it might have been that night, next day, next week, whatever it was.
Yeah.
But my point is, on Cody's mantle sits that picture of his dad holding that title. Okay. There's one way WWE can make all this right, and there's a lot that goes into it, so stick with me. They missed their chance last night with Monday Night Raw between Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. Drew McIntyre came out. I'm on the fence about Drew right now. Drew is a man's man. He is a hell of a heel. I love him as a heel, but I don't want to say he lacks intensity because that's not it. I've said this before. There's something about Drew's heel turn right now that I feel like it needs something, and I don't know what that something is. He whines and complains, and then I caused CM Punk to get hurt. Like, which way are we going with this? Are you sick and twisted, or are you going to be a crybaby? I'm a little confused. Back to Cody Rhodes, back to the journey here. You really honestly want to wonder what The Rock said to Cody on Friday Night SmackDown. We all do. We all want to know. And Cody needs to come out and say, if you want to know, you need to hear it from The Rock himself. The Rock, at some point, be it at a press conference, be it at social media, be it Friday Night SmackDown, is going to have to throw his ego out the door. Yes, I know how big The Rock has a huge ego, and wrestlers have a huge ego, but he's going to have to throw it out the door, and he's going to say, before we get started with this press conference or before we get started with the show, I have to acknowledge somebody in the room. And there's going to be Roman Reigns getting the shit-eating grin on his face. There's going to be Paul Heyman straightening that bow tie, sitting up, looking all nice and pretty. and The Rock going, I want to acknowledge Cody Rhodes for giving me this opportunity. I want to believe that Cody Rhodes is such a fucking Captain America, that he's such a good guy that going, Rock, you know what? I won 2 Royal Rumbles back to back. I lost last year's WrestleMania, but I am that good of a guy. I am that good of a babyface that I'm going to give my opportunity to another babyface. And guess what, Rock? If you can't beat him at WrestleMania, I will. There you have the start of your story, the start of this next chapter in this story, I should say. Okay? WrestleMania happens. The Rock loses because probably going to happen. Cody beats Seth. Now you have a situation where you possibly have champion versus champion. I don't care if it's at SummerSlam. I don't care if it's at WrestleMania. I don't care if it's on the first Monday Night Raw on Netflix, but it has to end in Madison Square Garden. And I want you to think about this. Grown men will cry. I don't care if it's a Monday night. I don't care if it's a Friday night, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. It has to end in Madison Square Garden. On the Titantron, we'll have Dusty Rhodes' picture with him having that belt. And then you will have Cody Rhodes defending Roman Reigns for the title in the same exact building where his dad once held that title. And that is how you put an end to all this nonsense.
Only problem with that.
Ah, damn it. I worked really hard on that.
No, you didn't. So I am going down that little rabbit hole with you. And it's a good plausible thing to happen. But the only issue is they don't go to Madison Square Garden at all for the rest of the year.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If it's next year at Netflix, I mean, because I think Survivor Series, it's Hogan. It's either Survivor Series or SummerSlam. Reigns is going to surpass Hogan and maybe Bob Backlund. I don't know about Bob Backlund, but I got to get back to you. But I know he surpasses Hogan at either SummerSlam or Survivor Series. So
I think it's Survivor or SummerSlam, yeah.
And with all the ups and downs of what's going on with Hogan and Vince McMahon and blah 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 blah, I think right now WWE is a lot of smoke and mirrors. You want my honest opinion of what's really going on behind the scenes? CM Punk got hurt, which really put a crotch shot on everything. And then you had the Vince McMahon and Brock Lesnar thing come out, all the allegations. So this is smoke and mirrors. That's what this is. And I fully 110% believe that it is smoke and mirrors. We're going to put the Vince thing on the back burner. We're going to put the Brock thing on the back burner. CM Punk's on the shelf for 6 months, a year, 9 months, whatever it is. Thus, in case of emergency, break glass. Boom. Here comes The Rock. Now, if The Rock would have said, you know what? I came to Cody and I said, brother, I'm 50-something years old. I don't have a lot of time left. I know you earned your spot at WrestleMania, but I'm 50 years old. I need one more good run. And maybe Cody gave it to him. I don't know. Now, I'm not being facetious here. I'm being serious. That could have very well been the conversation.
Yeah.
Or it could have been, hey, I'm on the board of directors now. Piss off. That could have been it too.
Yeah.
Now, Cody, if you follow him on Instagram, Twitter, whatever, I'm slowly coming around to Twitter. But I have to be careful because I fall into a dark hole on Twitter. I really do. I get into some really dumb motherfuckers. Pardon my French. But Cody said, hashtag just trust me. I think it was on Twitter. Could be wrong. And apparently, obviously, he knows something we all don't. So that brings me to the next question: is what does he know? You know, but I when Bully Ray said what he did on busted open. I was driving, and I'm not kidding you. I stopped the truck, and I was like, holy shit, that makes so much sense. Like, it clicked. It was like a light bulb went off on me. And Bully Ray even said on yesterday's podcast, he goes, Vince McMahon told me, Bully, you can't die on every single hill. Buddy, I'm dying on this one 110%. And I really honestly feel like it would be sentimental, and it would be just poetic in so many ways, not only for wrestling fans and for WWE and for the TKO network and blah, 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 blah. But it legitimately, I think it would mean a lot more to Cody on a serious note to win the championship in the same building his dad won it in so many years ago. Now, again, well, that means we're going to have another, 9 months of Roman Reigns. Look, I don't like it any more than you do, but have we really liked it the last 3 years anyway? Anyways, that was my journey. I know Cody Rhodes and Shinsuke had a bull rope match last night, which, look, no offense to Shinsuke, no offense to Cody, no offense to Drew, because he came out there and screwed it all up. I just, it wasn't my thing, wasn't my gig. I didn't like it. I thought Monday Night Raw was good. I didn't think it was great. But I think a lot of that is just them recovering from SmackDown, honestly. The fans are pissed off. So.
Well, they're gonna have to stay pissed off. We're not gonna. And I heard what you said. I don't think it's that deep. Now, keep in mind, we knew about allegations against Vince McMahon for several months, up to a year, I believe. There's a lot of stuff that came out, I want to say early of last year. So there was already grumblings. I mean, hell, why do you think he stepped down in the first place? You know what I mean? They knew what was coming. And this was before the TKO buyout. Right? Mm-hmm. So I have a feeling that at some point it was probably discussed that, hey, this thing against McMahon is gaining traction. Break glass in case of emergency. I think they made a stipulation to have The Rock be on the board of directors only because they needed a distraction with what was going on with Vince and what was going on with Brock Lesnar.
Right.
I genuinely, after thinking about it, I genuinely don't think The Rock is pulling any kind of weight to insert himself in a WrestleMania match. I genuinely believe it is the powers that be at TKO that said, we need to salvage this. Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns will not distract people. The Rock and Roman Reigns will, because that is the dream match that everyone's been talking about for the past, 2-3 years?
And I think the other part of that is
this was their opportunity to deliver.
I think the other thing, obviously, with CM Punk getting hurt, we were supposed to have CM Punk and Rollins. Everybody wanted to see that match because those two have legit had some real beef. It's not just wrestling. It's not just a shoot. It's not just it's not a shoot. It's not just a work. They've had some real legit beef. They've called each other out on multiple interviews, multiple podcasts, multiple documentaries. So I think that was a big part of it was, okay, well, we need smoke and mirrors away from the whole Vince McMahon thing, the Brock Lesnar thing, the allegations. CM Punk's hurt. A WrestleMania shot if we don't do something drastic. Send in The Rock.
So humor me real quick.
I'm not pulling my pants down on live TV.
Oh, damn. All right. So do you think that there is any... Do you think that there is any chance that Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes wrestle for the title at Elimination Chamber, and that's when Reigns drops it, so that when Rock wrestles Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, it's not for the title anymore?
I think that is a very good possibility, and I don't think that's out of the realm of possibilities. I just said possibility twice there. I'm kind of hoping that's what happens. Look,
if it's not at Elimination Chamber, then you have Cody Rhodes. Now, if you want to believe the backstage stories that CM Punk was supposed to win it, then it doesn't fucking matter if The Rock is taking over for Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes wasn't supposed to win in the first place.
Right.
If you really want to go down that route, then let's just fucking call it as it is. If Rhodes was not supposed to win it, then The Rock is not taking anything from Cody Rhodes. He's taking away from CM Punk, who is injured. So you got to look at it that way. I have a sneaky suspicion that they are going to do some kind of about face as far as the Royal Rumble goes. And I think that they are going to basically make the Royal Rumble the new Money in the Bank. I don't think that they will continue having the winner of Royal Rumble, not after all of this stuff that's been going on. I have a feeling really soon they're going to make it to where if you win the Royal Rumble, you could challenge the champion at any time, or at any one of the four or the other three staple pay-per-views in the calendar year. You win a Royal Rumble, you've got SummerSlam, you got Survivor Series, or WrestleMania, SummerSlam, then Survivor Series. That's it. You're shit out of luck. That would be the only way. If Cody Rhodes does not challenge for the title at Elimination Chamber, like I'm thinking he will, then there would be no other way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, look, and I don't see that happening just because of what the Royal Rumble has always meant to WWE. I could be wrong, and they may do that. But I'm a firm believer in this. You don't fuck with tradition, especially when it comes to wrestling. And I feel like if you did that, the Royal Rumble would lose all of its credibility. All those prior Royal Rumbles wouldn't mean shit.
Okay. So from the outside looking in, why didn't somebody like Drew McIntyre win and not Cody Rhodes? Keep in mind, if CM Punk was supposed to originally win, then technically The Rock didn't steal anything away from Cody Rhodes. He's not taking his spot that wasn't his to begin with. Wouldn't it have been easier to have a heel win the Royal Rumble and then do some kind of hey, your spot at Royal Rumble is in jeopardy. Wrestle The Rock, say at like Elimination Chamber, and then build it up like that. They've done it in the past.
They have, and I think the reason why is because this Royal Rumble, you had in the men's division, you had too many baby faces. You had Cody, You had CM Punk. You had a guy going for his second in a row versus a guy who hasn't been in a Royal Rumble in over 10 years. You had I didn't understand Drew being in the Final Four. I thought that was just a heel. And then Gunther makes sense because he's the ring general and he's got the Intercontinental Championship for the longest, his longest reigning IC champion of all time. So that kind of made sense to me. I get where they were coming from with that. But multiple reports, again, not saying any of this is true. I don't know. Multiple reports that I've read was CM Punk at one time told Cody, throw me over. Could be total bullshit. I don't know. Of course, one of those reports that we all know and love so very much. Fuck you, asshole. Dave Meltzer. But Yahoo,
if he was legitimately hurt, then I can kind of see that happening.
Because he knew something was wrong.
Right.
He knew shit's serious. Now look, you can speculate all you want. You can come up with all the conspiracy theories day in and day out. I truly believe this is not me being funny or cute. I believed going into the Royal Rumble when we did our picks, I picked people that I actually legitimately thought were going to win. And I still 2, 3, 4 weeks after the Rumble, I still think CM Punk was supposed to win that. And if that's just me being a fan and buying into it, fine. Then I'm a fan buying into it. You know what? Kudos to WWE. But I'm telling you, something happened in that ring, and CM Punk knew his shoulder was shot.
Oh, yeah. They have audio of him telling the ref, because the ref bent down to check up on him, and he yelled my shoulder or my arm or something like that.
Yeah. So I honestly think when that happened, the stuff with Vince, it was just there were too many stars aligning. And look, I'm going to say this, and I'm saying this is completely as a fan. Take podcaster away from it. Take me trying to be looking into wrestling. I will say this right now as a fan. If The Rock ends up winning the title at WrestleMania, I'm going to be pissed. Plain and simple. And you should be too.
And that's why I don't think it's going to get to that. That's why I'm hoping and I'm kind of thinking that Cody Rhodes will he's already said he's coming for the title. He's coming for everything, but it's not going to be a WrestleMania. Right. Who's to say that they don't pull strings to have Cody Rhodes challenge at Elimination Chamber? It's 3 weeks away. No,
a lot can happen in
2.5.
Weeks. Okay,
2.5.
Yeah, a lot can happen in 2.5 weeks. So, man, I don't know. I mean, and I'm hopeful. Now, I want to ask you a serious question from a fan's perspective. Okay, are you going to be mad at The Rock if he wins the title?
If he wins the title, I wouldn't be mad, but I would be a little confused knowing that he doesn't have that much of a run left in him. Knowing that it's part-time, not even part-time. Dude's not even on TV except like 2 times a year.
Now, you ready for that wrestler in me to come out a little bit? That psychology work?
No. Go for it.
A couple months ago, it might have been more than a few months ago. It feels like a few months ago, when John Cena started coming back and he started talking about he hadn't won a match since 2018. And even when Cena loses, you can tell the crowd's upset. You can tell. It's there. How bittersweet would it be for Cena to beat The Rock? And again, pick your poison. Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, WrestleMania, Survivor Series, SummerSlam, Hell in a Cell. I don't care. How bittersweet would it be to see Cena take the title off The Rock one last time?
When
they could, not saying this is going to happen. I'm not predicting this. I'm just saying they could because they had Cena lose to Austin Theory at Mania, to Solo at Mania. He hasn't won a match since 2018. He says he's got one more. He didn't say championship run, but he said he's got a little bit left in the tank, but not much. He's 51, 52. So he's the same age as The Rock, give or take a few years. So we could potentially maybe see another Cena Rock, which I'm not opposed to if it's good and if the story's done right.
Well, they are 1-1. So the Rock won in WrestleMania 28 and John Cena won in 29.
So there you go. And I just,
but they needed a full year both times to build up.
We're not at Mania yet. We're not at Mania yet. We're not at Mania yet. Keep that in mind. Again, I'm not predicting it. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm just hashtag what if. This is one of my what if scenarios.
Okay. Well, humor me this then. You had a couple of years ago, The Rock, when the comments first started coming out, or not comments, but the rumors first started coming out between The Rock and Roman Reigns. He did not want to make that big of a commitment because he didn't think that he would be able to do it. He has just, at that time, we're probably going to have to Google it to make sure I'm right, but he had just barely got into the Fast and Furious movies. You know what I mean? He is so much more busy now than he was when the rumors first started. So why on earth would anyone think that he can actually make that big of a commitment to be the champion again?
Because he doesn't have that many projects going in Hollywood. He's older, so this would be his last hurrah. And again, he could be a Brock Lesnar. He can be a Roman Reigns. He can show up every 2 to 3 months, defend the title, and go home on his merry little way. And again,
he has 3 movies in production right now, plus a 4th one that's filming, and he's behind the whole UFL deal.
And you bring up a good point. And again, I'm not saying you're right or you're wrong. I'm just saying that could potentially bring up some what if scenarios with him and John Cena, because they have made it a point, and WWE is notorious for this. They make us forget things and they make us remember things when they want to. And they kept bringing up the whole Cena hasn't won a thing since 2018, blah, 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 blah. Cena started saying it in his promos when he would come out to the ring. He loses at WrestleMania, and Cena hasn't been seen since. And then he goes on the Logan Paul podcast and says, man, I'm in my 50s. I'm winding down. I think I got one more really good match in me. And I know every wrestler says that. I'm not stupid. I'm not naive. But what if that one really good match? Okay, fine. You want to take the title out of the picture? Take the title out of the picture. How great would it be to have The Rock and Cena fight one more time?
There's not that hostility anymore. Cena already said that it was wrong of him to call him out in the first place.
Well, maybe it's not about hostility. Maybe it's about respect. Maybe it's about GOAT versus GOAT. Now, look, we can sit here. Here's a fun fact, and I saw this today, and I'm literally just taking this off the top of my head. I saw this today on Facebook. Rate your GOAT between these 4: Stone Cold, Undertaker, Rock, and Cena. Go. I can tell you right now, people ain't gonna like my answer.
I would say probably Undertaker would be 1. Stone Cold, I would say, is maybe a close second. And then I would do John Cena and then The Rock.
That's exactly what I said.
Now, really?
That's
but I
exactly
wouldn't
what
have
I
John
said.
Cena there anyway. I mean, not take anything away from him. Um, eh, but I mean, there'd be a couple of other people that I would have in that spot.
Well, and here's my
Triple H
question.
to name one, you know.
Here's my question to people, and you can argue this all day long. Okay, this is a non-ending debate, and it will forever be throughout wrestling history. Undertaker, because of his longevity in WWE, 30 years. That's a hell of a run for anybody. I don't care what sport it is, let alone sports entertainment, wrestling, whatever you want to call it. Stone Cold literally carried the company on his back in the 90s. It was Undertaker and Stone Cold carrying that company, and mainly Stone Cold at the time. So you take those two out of the equation, that leaves you Rock and Cena. Rock was on his way out when Cena came in. You had the ruthless aggression era coming in, correct?
Right.
Okay. Take away Triple H. He's out of the equation. Rock's leaving. Who in that locker room is going to do what Cena did in that era?
Kurt Angle was still around, wasn't he?
Yes.
And he had a massive push.
He had a massive push. But
Brock
I'm telling
Lesnar
you,
was around the same time John Cena was. Randy Orton came in same time as John Cena did. Look at Randy Orton now.
but could the company have survived on just Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar and Angle alone? Cena was able to get the right amount of hate and the right amount of people behind him at the right time. I don't care if it was Vince McMahon. I don't care if it was Shane McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, Triple H. I don't care if it was Ted Turner himself. I don't give a damn who you have there. Cena was able to come in during a time when they needed somebody to be the poster boy for WWE, and Cena did it. Yes, you had your Kurt Angles. Yes, you had your Triple H's. Yes, you had your RKOs. But I'm telling you, Cena was the guy. And they're like, well, what about Rock? We wouldn't have SmackDown without The Rock. You're absolutely right. We wouldn't have SmackDown without The Rock. But The Rock was, I hate to say this, and I can't believe this is coming out of my mouth. I'm going to get some hate if this ever gets out, and it will. But The Rock was kind of riding the coattails of Stone Cold until Stone Cold left. I said what I said.
Yeah, I could see that. Because I mean, he wasn't The Rock for the first part.
Right.
You know, he was still the babyface Rocky Maivia, and then did the whole Nation of Domination thing with Farouk, and had he been The Rock a lot sooner, then I would have disagreed. But it seemed like he didn't find that footing until like midway, if not toward the tail end of Stone Cold.
Right. And I will back this man up until my last dying breath. I will die on this hill too. And he said it again. Monday's podcast with Dave LaGreca and Bubba Ray Dudley and Mark Henry, hands down in the last, and I can say this confidently, in the last 2 years has been my favorite podcast. I think it's 45 or 50 minutes long. Hands down my favorite. Go back.
I watched one of their more recent ones, and I couldn't really get behind Dave LaGreca. Always yelling. It was like for the first 20, 30 minutes of an hour-long podcast, he's just ranting about shit. And then
he's a New Yorker, man. Give him some slack.
When Mark Henry starts talking or Bubba Ray, then it's like, you know, all right, take some heart medicine, go in the corner, just fucking relax a little bit.
But where I'm going with that is go back and watch WrestleMania 17. They put the Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, and the Hardy Boys fourth on the card. And they made the Rock and Stone Cold follow up with them. And that is the biggest middle finger, the biggest fuck you I have ever seen. Pardon my language. That is the biggest fuck you I've ever seen of any WrestleMania going, all right, you're going to make us number 4. Hey, Stone Cold Rock, follow this. The first ever TLC match.
Yo.
And
I remember that one. It's one of my favorites.
So that when we talk about psychology and we talk about things, it has to make sense and it has to be real and there has to be emotion behind it. And we're kind of coming full circle here, but that's why I say what I do about Cody Rhodes at Madison Square Garden. That's why I say what I do about The Rock and John Cena. And again, do I ever think we'll actually see Rock and Cena again? No, I don't. Not in this lifetime. I really honestly don't. We may see them in the same ring. We may see them backstage giving each other a high five. But remember this day, February 6, 2004, or 2024, sorry. If that happens, if Cena and Rock fight again, and I don't care if it's a Monday Night Raw, I don't care if it's a SmackDown, SummerSlam, WrestleMania, I don't care if it's a house show, that place they will riot just to see it. Because you will have arguably two of the greatest going at it one last time. And I think my money, between the two of them, I'm a Rock fan. But my money that night, I'm pulling for Cena.
You also have to keep in mind that I still firmly believe that it was TKO that is pulling the strings and kind of forcing The Rock down everyone's throats. I think they saw an opportunity because of what was going on with Vince. But on the flip side, you also have to keep in mind Roman Reigns has 100% creative control when it comes to Bloodline. 100%. He would not, The Rock would not be there if it didn't come from him or Paul Heyman. Period.
Now,
so you got to think about that. So whether CM Punk, CM Punk was supposed to win. It was already believed he was going to challenge Rollins. So who would face Reigns? I think you had one of two options. Cody Rhodes, again, somehow he gets a title shot, or they pull a fast one and they finally reveal The Rock and it goes that route. But Roman Reigns writes all of this.
Let's be honest here. Be fair. He's got a little help with creative. I mean, he has to run it by creative regardless. Now he has the final say. I'll give you that. But creative has a hand in it regardless.
Very little. Paul Heyman has even come out and said it's all from Roman Reigns.
Yeah, but okay, you're talking about the mastermind of ribs and the mastermind of pulling the wool over people's eyes.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go back. I'll find the interview. Triple H has even said as much because he's even said he has not seen anyone have that much control over their in-ring storylines since maybe Stone Cold or since him and Shawn Michaels. Triple H and Shawn Michaels. They almost fucking ran amok. They had almost full control over their whole DX thing.
Hey, fun side note, DX finally won in DX versus McMahon.
Oh my God.
Shawn Michaels is in the NXT. Triple H is over basically the rest, SmackDown and Raw. I mean, come on now, DX won. Let's give it to him.
Yeah.
But, well, man, like I said, I mean, that's the great thing about wrestling is we can do what ifs, so we can do different scenarios, and you can say, well, this happened because this happened, and this happened because of that happened. We all have our own ideas of what we want to see happen, or our own ideas of what we think needs to happen, and that's why we tune in every week, is because we want to see what are they going to do next. that there's a small part of me, and I'm in no way bashing them. I'm not a big AEW fan. Just it's not my thing, not my gig, whatever. But I tell you what, when I start to hear that Sting's about to have his last match, I'm tuning in for that. I say what you will, because the rumors are flying all over the interweb that when Sting ends in AEW, he might come back to WWE for one last time. I don't think it'll happen. I don't think it'll happen. But his exact words were, "This will be the last time I'm in an AEW ring." Those were his words. Not wrestling ring, AEW ring.
We'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know. I think he should call it while it's hot and not pull a Ric Flair kind of thing. You know what I mean?
And again, that's the magic of wrestling. I mean, Ric Flair's had how many last matches? And I think it was like 2 weeks after he had his last match. I think it was like a year or so ago. He's already saying that he still wants one more. And you know what? As long as a Ric Flair can will himself down that ramp and climb in that ring, I'm going to tune in.
I genuinely think Ric Flair should have ended it with his WrestleMania match against Shawn Michaels. That was the perfect send off.
Mm-hmm.
But to just reiterate, going back, ever since Friday had the weekend to mull it over and think about all sorts of different scenarios, and I'm actually okay with it being Rock and Roman Reigns. Just because I'm looking at it from that standpoint, I've already said, if you want to believe the reports that CM Punk was supposed to win, then technically The Rock isn't taking anything away from Cody Rhodes. Plain and simple.
Buddy, I don't disagree with you one bit. I really don't. As much as I want to see Roman Reigns get dethroned, and as much as I look, I will be honest. When Cody Rhodes came back to the WWE, I was one of his biggest critics. I really, really was.
I screamed like a little bitch when his music played. Oh,
but I will tell you this. I don't know if it was the first or second pay-per-view that he did. But when he got hurt and he did that Hell in a Cell with Rollins, or that cage match, whatever it was, and he took that jacket off and you saw the damage that had been done to his pecs, hook, line, and sinker, man, they had me. And I've been a fan of his ever since. I love his entrance. I love how the crowd gets behind him. I love the fact, and this is not just a wrestling fan thing. This is also a dad thing. This is also a fan thing. And this is just a person in me. I love watching. I don't care if it's Cody Rhodes. I don't care if it's Bayley. I don't care if it's RKO. I don't care if it's AJ Styles. Take your pick. Insert name here. I love seeing wrestlers walking down to the ring, high-fiving people, stopping and signing an autograph, taking selfies with the fans. As a kid, I want you to really think, whether it was football, whether it was wrestling, whether it was baseball, when one of your favorite players, one of your favorite wrestlers comes up, takes a selfie with you, or signs an autograph for you, or signs, your shirt, whatever. How awesome is that? And Cody Rhodes is that all-American babyface that we all love. We're all pulling for him. I think he deserves to have the title, and I do think he eventually will get the title, whether it's with Rollins, whether it's with Roman, whoever. It's fun to watch right now. Am I still a little bit? I'm still a little bit bitter that it's not going to be Cody versus Roman at WrestleMania, but the other side of me is, let's see where they go with it. Let's see what they do. Wait and see. So, oh man.
Well, so much for a short podcast.
Hey, this is a short podcast. This is the shortest one we've done yet. And hey, you know what? I don't even remember what episode we're on, but we haven't even tagged yet for our outro, and I love it. As much as I love, and I'm being legit serious. This is me talking. As much as I love our outro, I'm just as proud of our intro, and you did every bit of that. So thank you for that.
It was just copy pasting stuff, man.
Hey, it turned out awesome. So, I did drink a little bit tonight. Still kind of fighting off that strep throat. Been taking my antibiotics like a good little boy, like I should. But I did have me a beer. I had my Smarty PB and J beer right here.
Nice.
My last one. Man, I gotta say, so we got to talk about beer for a second. We got to talk about alcohol. Craft beer's expensive.
Not any more expensive than regular.
Jeez, I paid $17 for a 4-pack for this.
Well, because it's seasonal. That's why.
Oh, well,
Like you go to Total Wine, like that. All that stuff is like right there on the seasonal.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be. That's where I got. It was the 903 Brewery, the Golden Girls slushy.
Yep.
4 of them, $20.
Oof, gosh, man.
A can of 4,
You know,
or
I
a
don't.
pack of 4 cans for 20.
I don't have any cheap hobbies. I got Harley Davidsons and craft beer, man. Neither one of them's cheap. Jeez. And video games. So
Hey, guess what? Real quick.
what?
Hang on, real quick.
Hashtag we want Cody. Love it. Love it. Love it. Nice.
Oh wait, I need a follow. Hold up.
Hey, look at that. We got a new follower. I'll say this before we end the show. I'm boycotting the Super Bowl.
Why?
Because I don't want to see Taylor Swift win, and I damn sure don't want to see the 49ers win. Well, people ask me all the time, they're like, why do you hate the 49ers so much? Why do you hate the Eagles so much? It is exactly what people think it is. I'm born and bred in Dallas, and being a Cowboys fan for as long as I was, I hate those teams. I still to this day despise those teams. And when they play the Cowboys,
I'm not that big of a Cowboys fan. So I'm kind of rooting for the 49ers. Just because I want someone new other than Chiefs.
You know, and that's the thing. It's like, you know, when Tom Brady was winning all those Super Bowls, everybody hated him. When Michael Jordan was winning when the Chicago Bulls were winning all those championships, everybody hated Michael Jordan. When when Kobe was doing his thing, everybody hated Kobe. So I see where that is. I mean, I'm kind of over Patrick Mahomes' family. I think watching Patrick Mahomes is fun, but and again, I'll make this very clear. No fault of Taylor Swift's. It's not her fault. It's the network's fault. I know that. I get that. But I've never been a real big fan of Taylor Swift. I applaud what she does with her fans. I applaud all the accomplishments she's made. I watch football to watch football, I don't watch it for Taylor Swift. But I see why people were saying they're tired of seeing, you know, the Chiefs win. I think this is what Patrick Mahomes' 4th Super Bowl in 5 years.
I believe so, yeah.
So, and then I like Kittle. Purdy's fun to watch. McCaffrey's fun to watch. I hate the 49ers with every. Oh,
you know, and that's why, you know, early on, I was kind of hoping that it would be the Lions in the NFC, and the AFC, either Houston Texans or Miami Dolphins. Or not Miami. Originally it was Dolphins, but Texans and who just lost? Because it was a team that had never won before. They haven't been to the Super Bowl.
Wasn't the Ravens? I know you weren't pulling for the Ravens.
No.
Shit, I don't know.
All right, I'm looking it up. There's that. Okay. Playoffs.
Playoffs?
The playoffs? Okay, so I was rooting for the Lions and the NFC. Oh, Buffalo. That's who it was. Houston and Buffalo. Only because I wanted teams that have never won the Super Bowl before. I thought it would have been cool, no matter who the fuck won. I don't care. Someone was going to win their first franchise Super Bowl.
All right. Well, I'm calling it right now. February 6, 2024. You know who wins 2025 Super Bowl?
The Puppy Bowl.
No. You know who wins next year's Super Bowl?
What?
There's only one team out there, man. Jets, Jets.
You're so delirious with that drug medicine.
You got anything else, my friend?
Hell no. I want to go get some dessert.
Ooh, what's for dessert?
I don't know. Little mini ice cream sandwiches.
Ooh, nice.
Yes,
All right.
Sir.
Sorry for the short podcast. I'm gonna go play.
This ain't short, people. Don't fucking listen to him. This is an hour long.
It's short for us because we normally go an hour and a half. But I'm gonna go play Pal World, PAL World, Xbox, Steam. I think it's on PlayStation 5. Not sure. Anyways, go check it out if you haven't already. And thanks for tuning in. I'm Whiskey.
I'm Bruce.
Shave your back.